right, so this is about real-time operations to drive business performance. So real-time operations is when something goes wrong, you need to deal with it right away, right? This is not something that you can wait on and you get an email and you just sit there until somebody picks up the ticket, right? So this is something that PagerDuty does really well and gets that information to you in a lot of different ways. Okay, so we have global offices in San Francisco and Toronto, Sydney, Seattle, and London. We have over 10,000 customers with more than 50 of the Fortune 100 companies. Our product is 100% cloud with 300,000 users and using over 300 native integrations to different products like New Relic, so that when something goes wrong, your monitoring system finds something that goes wrong, you tell us instead of telling an email to somebody and waiting in their queue and hoping somebody picks it up. You tell PagerDuty and we'll get it to you really fast so that somebody gets on it immediately and we'll keep track of who does that. So the old way, which I was just describing, is queued. So you have an issue happen. It goes into maybe an email group and somebody picks it up, right? They watch their email and in the middle of the night nobody's watching their email, so it just sits there till the next day. It's siloed, so everybody doesn't know what anyone else is doing. So if I get an issue, I don't know if it's related to anything else that's going on. I have to do that myself. I have to figure out whether it's related to anything else that's going on. And it's all manual. I'm driving it. It's reactive. So something had to have happened. Something's already broken, and so people are already seeing it before you get that information. So we want to move that forward. So we're going to map that. Instead of queued, it's real time. So it's pushing to you. It's hitting your app. It's hitting an SMS message. It's calling you on the phone so that you react right away. It's collaborative so that all the other issues that are coming in from different tools are moved together so you can see the whole spread of what's going on right now and what the issues might be. It's automated, so it's being pushed through a process that you define and that helps you to move it to the next level. We go through the entire incident until it's complete. And it's learning. So instead of you having to think ahead and say, well, what might happen? What do we do in this situation? PagerDuty is learning by what's coming in, what's going to come next, right? And the way you use the tool will teach it to use it better next time, okay? So let's see how that might go. And so different companies that need to do this are typically pretty early on in the reactive or responsive, right? Reactive is something's already gone wrong and now I have to deal with it. Responsive is I'm starting to get ahead of it. I'm starting to think about what might happen. We auto-identified, we know which group it needs to go to. So a lot of companies kind of hover between these two, mostly here and a little bit behind. What we want to get to is some automation. We are seeing patterns and we're deducing from patterns what's going to happen next. And then we put those into an automation scripts or some kind of tool so that I can push a button and then we deal with it immediately, maybe some self-healing, right? From proactive, it would be great to get to preventative. So now that we have enough data, we're watching, we're deducing what's going to happen from the old data, we're pushing it to the next level. Very few companies are getting to this level to be able to, ahead of the customer seeing it, ahead of any problems being noticed by the public, you're now fixing it ahead of time. So this is the way that we get you across and up the DevOps or IT ops or whatever spectrum to get to the promised land of a preventative. See if it's fixed from here. There we go. So PagerDuty takes all the signals from all the different areas that you are monitoring, and everything that might go wrong is going to send a signal to us. So instead of sending an email to somebody, you send it to PagerDuty. PagerDuty will make sense of this data. If there are things that really belong together, they're the same problem in real life, but they're coming from different systems, we'll put them into the same incident and assign that to a person. And that person will get notified by a push notification to our app, a phone call, SMS message, and an email. Even to Slack or HipChat, right? To let you know that there's something waiting and you need to get on it right away. If somebody doesn't respond with an acknowledgement, so there's a two-way, yes, I've got it. If they don't respond to that, then it'll go to the next person in an escalation. The point here is that we really need to get somebody on this. It's that kind of problem, because what's happening in the real world is that when something goes wrong, and as a consumer, I don't get a response from that website, I'm going to go somewhere else. And that time window of grace goes really small now. So we really need to get it to the right person quickly based on what's going wrong and then who can take care of it. How does it get to it? Through those 4 different ways that I talked about. So we respond to engage the teams, and then we take it to the next level. We analyze and learn. As you're fixing the problem, you're giving input back to PagerDuty, letting us know how you've reacted to it, how you fixed it, what you're going to do about it. Take that, and we put that back into the learning engine so that we can react correctly the next time. What we've done from the beginning is we've got an enterprise class infrastructure, so it's very reliable. That's built from the ground up. And what we do as our bread and butter is that on-call management, schedules, escalation policies, notifications, that initial get somebody involved. On top of that, we've got a lot of a la carte options, modern incident response. Once you get the notification, you don't walk away from PagerDuty. The new Relic information comes in. It's socialized to the right person. At this point, what happens when there's something I can't deal with, right? There's an issue with the database. I don't have credentials. There's an incident issue with the network. I need some help. I need to build a little virtual team. I don't want to go back to my desk and figure out, well, who do I call now after I've got this great automation? We leverage this automation to build a little virtual team during the incident. So I like to think of this as like when the fire is burning, we need to assemble all the right firemen to start working on it. And we need to coordinate what they're doing. So they share the same information, they get on the same bridge, they talk through the same chat channels to fix the problem. And as we're working on it, PagerDuty is keeping track of who did what, who was notified, so that when we're done, we can say, how did we do? How do we improve this process? Because the 2 issues we have is that mean time to resolve, is how long does it take to fix it? But a typical way to fix that is to get the mean time to acknowledge down. So that first person who's working on it, that person's usually not engaged quickly, right, in that old siloed way. We're getting someone involved really quickly. So we're going to reduce that and feed that back. Event intelligence is a new thing that we just launched this summer. And what we do now is to do that machine learning and that combination of all these different events may be related, they may not be related. We will just figure that out and put it into one package. So every time you have a monitor on a server that's, ping it, is it down, is it down, is it down? I get a notification on my phone every time it's down, right? I don't want that. I want one notification. And then when I look at that, oh, it happened again, but it's not going to ring my phone anymore. You have those alert storms where my phone is running out of battery because it keeps ringing. I don't need that. I need that kind of noise reduced. Event intelligence also helps me to figure out from things that I've already got I'm working on, have I seen this before? How many times have you worked on a problem that has happened 50 times in the past? Well, what did they do then? I need a way to quickly find out how they resolved it to figure out if I could use that. Maybe something that took a level 3, 4 hours and the first time came through, I can look to see what they did, and a level 1 can figure it out much faster. Visibility. This is a way to make visible all the business level issues. So what happens when something goes down, his disk is full? Does the VP really care? He might see it on his phone that there's a problem. Is this an important issue or not? Visibility gives us the ability to give in new metrics, maybe something like the cost of the amount of money we're collecting, right? The transactions per minute. If that's doing fine and the business is not impacted, the VP is not going to care. But we want to be able to surface that kind of information to them so they say, this is a really important problem, and we need to get on this right away. On the other hand, a responder, I have 10 things to look at the same time. Which one do I do first? I can easily prioritize if there's something that's impacting the bottom line. I need to know that too. So giving that information back to the responders helps them to figure out what they should work on first, and they get kudos for doing that. And then analytics, that's that reflective, 360 degree. I want to be able to know if I'm doing the job well. I'm resolving my issues, and it's taking shorter and shorter amount of time. That kind of analytics is really going to help me to improve the process, and to know, on the other hand, if responders are getting burnt out. How often does it happen where there's one person who's always doing the job and resolving all those issues? That person's probably going to take another job and move on. On the other hand, there may be people who aren't on the rotation enough, and you want to be able to fix that. That kind of reflection to say, are we doing a good job? Are the people healthy? Are they happy? We can give that back to you, and you can help reschedule it so everything's working in a better way. So all of that's part of ours. On top of that, there's different use cases, right? DevOps and IT ops are vastly different. They have different worries. They have different processes. Things like SecOps. It's really important when a security event happens that somebody gets on it. So it's a different kind of thing, but it's something we're really good at. Let's get someone involved to fix it. Maybe the first thing to do when someone clicks on an email that's got a bad link on it is to shut down the firewall, right? Don't let anything in and out until we figure out what to do. We can help you to figure that into your process. Customer support, when really important issues come in, again, sitting in a queue, that might not be the way you want to do your business. You want to get really important issues to somebody faster. PagerDuty can help it. And we're moving into other areas like business ops and industrial ops as well. So here's a particular case study from a customer we have where they've got all these different services that they were dealing with in emails. They were actually just emailing all the problems to a group email address, and the people who were a part of that address would look at it, and you don't know if Bob had it or Jim had it or Judy had it or whatever, and who's working on it at any given time. There was no information. They were also having phone calls into ServiceNow and Remedy, and that notification would go to that email address. So all these different automated and phone ticketing system was coming into here, and then they would communicate out via Slack. It was working, but it was really slow. And after a few days, if these emails got old enough, sometimes they just get discarded because they didn't have time to deal with it. With PagerDuty, we were able to put PagerDuty in the middle of that. All of these were automated, so we're able to get these people involved right away. Phone calls using our live call routing and automated answer system. They could actually leave a message with based on the system that they were reporting on, and that became a notification out to a real person who could listen to the message and start working on the problem. ServiceNow is one of our partners, and so we're one of 5 premier partners with ServiceNow, and we were able to sync up the incident in PagerDuty with the ServiceNow ticket. So that ServiceNow is kept up to date as the system of record, but the system of action is PagerDuty. While the fire's burning, you're using us. When everything's done, we're synced out to ServiceNow. And so all of these things could still happen. We were able to triage the problem, get the right people involved, resolve the issue, and then prevent it in the future. So where's the value in this, right? Based on a business value analysis of this issue or of this customer, we were able to reduce the time to assign to somebody by 75%. That's that first part. In order to reduce the amount of time total, you get someone involved faster. We're able to reduce the time to resolve. Uptime services were improved over more than 99%, and a reduced incident cost of $10 million. Here at AWS reInvent, we're announcing 4 different new integrations. So with CloudWatch, which we've already had for alarms, we can now ingest any kind of events. For GuardDuty, which is a security system to watch any unauthorized behavior, now send that to PagerDuty. CloudTrail, which is an audit tool. If somebody's messing with your configuration, you need to know about that faster. Send that to PagerDuty. And then the personal health dashboard. That is for the AWS status, so any of the services that are specific to your platform, the ones that you're using, a shorter list than that big long page, right? You can tell us, or we can tell you when one of those systems goes down, one of AWS systems go down. So all of these are now available at no extra cost via PagerDuty. So get started today.